everybody. Thanks for watching Rock and Recovery this week. My name's Michelle.
And my name is Carlee.
Hello, Carlee.
Hello.
So this is the week of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you have anything that you're grateful for.
Oh my goodness. A lot of things I'm grateful for. Should I list them all? I know that gratitude is, and being thankful is huge in 12-step, as it is in a lot of recovery methods and pathways. And I think that when we're grateful or when we practice gratitude, it shifts our perspective. Like if we're going through something that's difficult, instead of finding all the bad in the situation, we can find good in being grateful for things.
Yeah. And it's a habit. Being able to kind of look on the bright side becomes a habit after a while.
Yep.
And it really changes a whole bunch of things in your life. It changes your posture. It changes the way you treat other people. It changes the way you see yourself. How do you think that gratitude lists help people?
I think sometimes, I know that I've written a few gratitude lists as direction from my sponsor, or somebody else, or just me wanting to write one. And I think it helps because once you start writing, you start thinking of more and more things. And before you know it, you filled up an entire page of paper with things that you're grateful for. And it's interesting because you just don't realize that there's that many things. Like day to day, you don't think, oh, I'm so grateful for my job, or I'm so grateful for my car or my pet, So it's good to write it down. It's like a tangible thing,
Yeah. One of my favorite moments in time was seeing you and my granddaughter, Ari, at the kitchen table, writing a gratitude. I can't even call it a list. It was like a paper, right? With pictures and colors and everything. And just seeing you two working on that together and watching her look at yours, to come up with ideas for hers.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories ever. And she was small. What was she, 6? Maybe?
7, yeah.
Something like that.
It was a couple years ago. Yeah, I remember that too. That's one of my favorite things, was being able to share that with somebody and do it together, especially with my niece. That's a special moment. So,
yeah.
And it's important that we, whether we're in recovery or not, to focus on gratitude. I think that's a huge value in our family, is being grateful and not taking anything for granted, and to share that with somebody younger than me was really special.
Yeah. And it takes us out of victim mode. A lot of times people who are coming out of the throes of active addiction, it's easy to feel sorry for yourself.
Right.
And fall into victim mode. And when you're in that mindset, it seems like everything just keeps going wrong. And we kind of put ourselves in that situation by just, if you expect the worst, the worst happens. One way or another, you'll make it the worst, right? So being able to turn that around and looking on the bright side and seeing the positive makes a huge difference in what your life's going to look like in the future.
And it makes a big difference in those around you, too.
Yeah.
Because have you ever been around somebody who's just...
Cranky?
Not the right word. Just drains all the energy out of you.
Yes.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
I used to be that person. Inactive addiction. That makes it any better. But yeah, no, I used to be that person. And, it's important that, we surround ourselves with those types of people that are thinking positively, and practice gratitude. It just makes a huge difference in those around us when we do that.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll be right back. everybody. Thanks for staying with us on Rock and Recovery. So we've been talking about gratitude, and it's very fitting for Thanksgiving week.
Yes, I agree.
So what are you grateful for?
A lot of things. First would have to be family.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's, family's huge. Family's so important to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in our community that don't have anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of that and the difference between being able to call mom or confide in somebody or share your joy with somebody, it makes a huge difference.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love talking to you.
You do?
I do.
Aw.
You're like, whenever, like, my default mode is just calling mom or talking to mom. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I love talking to you.
We have fun together,
We
right?
do, yeah.
Mother-daughter stuff. My best friend. It's
My best friend.
right? Oh, hug. Okay, back to gratitude.
Gratitude. Yeah, family. What about what's up there with you for you?
My relationship with God is definitely number one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
And it's very helpful to know that in times of trouble, there's an expected end. God knows the ending, and God loves me. So even when things are going terribly wrong and I think, oh my goodness, like what could I possibly do or what's going to happen? It calms me down to think, you know what? It's God already knows what's going to happen. He loves me. As long as I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a difference between somebody who has faith and I think somebody who doesn't. Because it's like everything just seems to be, there's no order or rhyme or reason to anything. Right?
Can I change my gratitude list?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so that one's first, and then family. I think my recovery is on there too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grateful for my recovery and, you know, the years that I have experienced without drinking or using drugs. It's not always easy, but I'm grateful for it because I've had so many experiences that I just wouldn't have had if I was still in active addiction.
Very true. Very true. Life gets a lot bigger when you're in recovery. And that's people don't understand that that's what happens. It's not like you're depriving yourself of drugs and alcohol. It's like you're opening the door to so many new things that you can really enjoy and be present in each moment, right? So it's like a win-win, triple win.
Win-win. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What else is on your list?
Well, I think that being in recovery is probably one of the huge ones, right? And I need to be thankful for my recovery on a daily basis because it's real easy to get stagnant and just kind of take it for granted. And people say that that's the first step towards relapse, is not appreciating what recovery has brought you and not reminding yourself that how horrible life can be in active addiction. Right?
That's important.
We had somebody come in our office yesterday and was talking to us about a family member who had passed due to an overdose. And when you have moments like that where you're talking to people and you see that the addiction and the chaos and the destruction is so real and so present in their life, it really makes you first want to reach out and help them.
Right.
But second, just be appreciative of being in recovery and having family members that are in recovery as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else are you grateful for? I'll give you a hint what you're grateful for. Ruff.
Oh, my dog. Sage.
You can't leave Sage off the list.
I can't leave Sage off the list. No, I'm so grateful for her. Actually, the November 23rd was our gotcha day. Was our adoption day with her.
Oh.
Happy gotcha day. I was saying that to her all day. And
You should have had a party.
we kind of did. No, we didn't have a party. But Yeah, now I'm super grateful for Sage. We got her, sorry, I keep thinking of her as my dog. Mine and Anthony's dog. We got her on Black Friday 2 years ago, so the day after Thanksgiving. So she's our little grateful pup.
Yeah.
So.
You know, people talk about pet therapy and helping those with addiction issues and stuff, and I'll tell you, that dog could put a smile on your face like no other dog. I love that dog. She's so happy to see you. Every time she sees you, she's like all over you like you're the most important person in the whole wide world. You gotta smile.
She loves Grandma's house. She really does. I found the video last night because I was going through old pictures of her. Like she's my daughter. And I found a video of us pulling into your driveway, and she's like squealing and barking, and I'm like, "Oh, we're at Grandma's house." And, she's so happy to be there. Yeah.
And I'm the typical dog grandma too, because I come in with bones in my pocket, right? Little snacks to give her.
True. You do, and you come over with bones in your pocket. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those are some of the things that I'm grateful for too. I'm grateful that you have a dog because I don't think I could take care of one by myself. So.
I don't think you could.
Too busy.
Too busy.
Oh. So in this season of Thanksgiving, the parameters are a little bit different than normal because of the COVID-19 pandemic and all the guidelines and safety issues that they have. How is that going to affect your Thanksgiving this year?
By a lot.
Yeah.
You know, not being able to see cousins and aunts and uncles, and you know, Thanksgiving's always a pretty big holiday for my family and for Anthony's family, and it's sad, you know, just not being able to gather together and eat good food and talk to each other, you know.
Yeah, I think the thing that bothers me most about it is that I know there are a lot of people out there that are fearful. Oh my gosh, what if I get sick? What if I'm exposed? And just the fear that's ruling people's lives right now is just palpable, right? I don't like that. I don't like seeing other people walk in fear because I know you don't have to walk in fear. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're going to go to a break, Carlee.
Okay.
But we'll be back. Everybody, thanks for staying with us on Rock and Recovery. We've been talking about gratitude.
Gratitude.
How do you spread the joy that comes with gratitude to other people?
I think by living in gratitude, you can kind of spread it, if that makes sense. Like if I'm always looking on the bright side, or, you know, having like a positive outlook on life, that's contagious. And I think it affects everybody around me. Similarly, if I had a negative outlook, everyone would probably hate me, you know, or like just not want to be around me. So I think that's one way. And just recognizing when other people might feel low or might be in a rough time in their life, like being able to reach out to them and help them or listen and talk to them.
That's a huge point. And when we're living a life of gratitude and we're looking on the bright side, all of a sudden the world isn't just about us. We're able to recognize when somebody's sad or if somebody needs us or if somebody's uncomfortable for whatever reason and kind of carry them back a little bit, right? One of the best compliments that I ever got was from a woman that I know, and she said, being near you is like being near a warm stove on a cold winter's day. Aw, right?
Did she really say that? That's so
it's
sweet.
So poetic. I was like, really? Yeah, that's huge, right?
I feel it.
Yes. Yeah, so when we're feeling something, it shows. People say like you have an aura or whatever. I don't know exactly what that means, but I know that there's an energy around people that are positive. And I love that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's being positive and being like in gratitude is just so important, especially now when things are kind of like all over the place with everything. It can be hard though sometimes to find things to be grateful for, especially when it feels like your world is just crumbling around you. It's like, what do I have? You know, that's why lists are so important, and just taking that time to really reflect on, you know, what I do have and what's been given to me in my life and my influence. Even our influence is something to be grateful for. You know, like being able to talk to people, having a group of friends, or having a circle that we can talk to and help, or have them help us.
Yeah, even if it's over the computer instead of in person for right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's people could be a huge influence on you, and you can tell. Like even now with masks, you could tell when somebody's smiling under their mask, right?
You can tell with the eyes;
Yeah.
they're smizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just makes you happy to be around people that are like that, right? And it's just a matter of being able to find the good in things instead of always dwelling on what's bad.
Right.
It changes everything.
It does.
Right?
It does.
How do you think that being in recovery, having a positive outlook, and it's not like pretending you're happy. That's not what I'm talking about at all. It's really being able to find something to be happy about, which there's a billion things. For example, sometimes somebody says, oh, well, I'm happy for my health. Well, no, you're not. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're happy for your health, if you really think about what that means, you know, think of all the things that could be wrong, or I'm grateful that I could breathe. Well, imagine if you couldn't. Like, what if you were having trouble breathing? Like, what a relief would it be to be on that side of it, right? For your senses, to be able to see things, smell things, feel things, right? So it's all those things are so huge. If you lost one of them, you would know what it would be like to be grateful for it if you got it back, right? Yeah.
Well, it's just like what you were saying in the beginning, like choosing it, like choosing to be happy or choosing joy. You know, we can go through our day and have like 10 seconds of like an argument with somebody or whatever. Are we gonna let that ruin the rest of the day? It's like, no, you brush it off, you move on, you start your day over, and you just kind of have a good rest of the day.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to dwell on the nonsense, you know? And I agree with you where I've been in meetings where people have been like, I'm so grateful I woke up this morning. You sound like it. How about some animation there? It's like, are you really? Because you don't look it. You can tell when somebody's truly embracing gratitude and when they're really feeling it. You know, it's not just a word that you can just loosely throw around.
And you could tell, like, the choreographed answers, right?
Yes.
That somebody they're so used to saying it that it doesn't even mean anything. It rolls off their tongue, like, you know what I mean? And there's no thought behind it. When somebody starts a sentence a certain way all the time, you don't even hear it anymore because it doesn't mean anything anymore, right?
Well, it's just like that whole, how are you today? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. I'll take you back to what's it called, to my outpatient group. My therapist always said, good is not a feeling. She had it written all over the walls, too. Good is not a feeling. Good is not a feeling. And there would always be one in the group that's like, I'm good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now we're going to have to hear it again, the entire group. But
it stuck with you.
It did stick with me. So I try not to say good unless I really am like doing good. But I mean, how uncomfortable would it be at Wegmans if like somebody was like, "How are you today?" and I just like unload all my baggage to the poor cashier? Like that would be terrible. Like Nancy doesn't want to hear my nonsense. Anyways, but I digress.
Okay, well, we have to go to a break, all right? But we'll be back. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Rock and Recovery. We're grateful. There's a lot of people right now in our community that are suffering loneliness due to COVID-19 and the addiction that they're suffering from or a family member is suffering from. It's really important that we remember them and we open the door to give them an option to talk about it if they want to. Not to force a conversation, but just to let them know that we're there.
Yep.
What kind of things do you think that we can do as community members to kind of like make it a safe place for other people to open up and talk?
I'm not sure, honestly. This is such a tough thing because we're not allowed to gather in big groups right now. So we can't really have like an open door sort of powwow of people just talking. Zoom groups, I really don't know what the answer is. Do you have any ideas on what?
I think sometimes the simple things are best. One-on-one conversations sometimes could do a lot more than a platform to be able to talk to people.
That's true.
And just like right now, being able to speak to people, there's somebody sitting alone in their living room right now that's listening. Right? And it's like a one-on-one thing because they're the only ones there. Right? So what we can say to somebody out there maybe who's struggling is that you're not alone. We understand. And if you need to talk, we're here. So they can always call us at Mission Recovery, right?
Right.
At 944-4270. We're here to listen.
Yep.
And it's not always that we'll have an answer for you that's going to fix the problem. But sometimes just by talking about it, you can come up with some solutions or kind of like put your heads together to come up with something that will ease the situation a little bit, open some doors, right?
And if anybody knows somebody who's either struggling with addiction or has a family member struggling, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to say that you're there for them and that you love them. Because sometimes when, especially a family member is going through their loved one's addiction, it is very isolating and it is such a lonely place to be. So for them to know that they're loved and that they're seen is important.
Yeah. And talking about it is not shaming the person.
Right.
If you talk about what you're going through because of somebody's addiction, don't feel like you're betraying the person because you're not. You need help. We all need help as family members when somebody's going through it. It affects everybody involved, and nobody understands that more than we do.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Yeah. So in light of like the situation that we're in right now with COVID-19, a lot of people aren't talking about any other issue except for that because they feel like their issue should take a back burner right now because everybody's focused on this bigger thing, right, that's in front of them. But we need to remember that when something is happening inside your home or you're worried constantly about a loved one or you're stuck in that obsession and compulsion of using, I mean, the world gets very, very small and there is nothing outside of that little ball, right? So those people need help too. Yeah.
I agree, especially when things like COVID-19 made it even worse.
Yeah.
Just made the problem even bigger. You know, no meetings, or no in-person meetings, I should say. Less recovery support services available, and not being able to have that that in-person connection with people has really made it difficult. And I know a lot of people have either relapsed or have, overdosed or, started using or used more, and it's just not, it's having a negative effect on the addiction problem here.
Yeah. And we have to remember too that the children that are growing up right now in this time are having a hard time. And as an adult, it's like I could see the world, how it's affecting me, maybe financially, emotionally, or whatever. But, give a wave to the kid next door.
Yeah.
I mean, something, right? Put a piece of candy in the mailbox, right?
Sure.
Let them know you care. Sometimes little things like that really do make a big difference.
Yeah, kids are struggling right now, for sure. Really bad. So,
yeah,
that's important.
They did some studies, and because it's happening right now, it's hard to kind of calculate things, but depression in young people is way up. Suicides up, right?
I believe it.
Abuse up. Yeah, so people aren't getting their needs met. A lot of children are going without lunch or without breakfast because they used to get it at school. And, it's important to remember that we can't take this stuff for granted. If we can help, we need to help. If there's a way for you to help, right?
Right.
Yeah. All righty, we're going to a break, but we'll be back. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching Rock and Recovery this week.
If you would like to see more of our videos or more of our shows, they're up on YouTube at the Rock and Recovery Talk Show. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch episodes that you might have missed.
Yeah.
And you can, and you can also follow us on Facebook, Rock and Recovery, and the Mission Recovery page as well.
Yes. Okay, everybody, have a good week.